Hi everybody, welcome. We are Lisa and Yannick, and unfortunately, we've got bad news for you. Currently, valuable time of medical staff is being wasted. Now, we are going to show you why.
Did you know that doctors in training have to rotate between up to 14 different medical departments, often across different hospitals, and all of this in only 3 to 6 years? Now, the planning and management of these rotations is highly complex, as hospitals have to ensure a number of requirements, such as the clinical curriculum of each specialization, personal preferences, and many more. Once created, each rotation schedule, but also each change to an already issued schedule, has to be communicated to a high number of stakeholders within and across hospitals. Now, what do you think? How do hospitals currently manage these rotations? Manually, in self-created workarounds. So it's hardly surprising that all requirements are hardly ever met, and that one hospital spends on average almost 200 hours per week on managing their clinical rotations. More than half of this time falls upon highly qualified doctors such as medical directors and senior physicians, which is expensive and means valuable medical staff resources are being wasted. Now, these were exactly the type of challenges that I had to face on a daily basis as head of a department responsible for the clinical rotation management across 9 hospitals. There was no suitable software solution available, and I knew that in order to build one, I needed to combine my in-depth know-how in clinical rotation management with expertise in software engineering and venture building. So with David and Yannick, I put together the optimal team.
That's right. With Rotable, we are developing the first HR solution that enables hospitals to generate clinical rotation schedules automated and to complete related admin tasks with only a few clicks. At its core, we developed an algorithm that calculates ideal schedules across hospitals while accounting for all mentioned requirements. This way, we allow hospitals to efficiently respond to short-term rotation changes and increase quality through planning and preference reliability. Automated workflows and alerts ensure transparent information and communication. We charge hospitals a monthly licensing fee per managed position. Even after purchase, hospitals not only save costs, but Rotable is freeing up much needed medical staff resources to spend on patient-related tasks. We conducted 40 plus qualitative interviews with decision makers and employees of large hospital groups in Germany, Austria, with the medical chamber. The conclusion? There is a high demand and hospitals are inclined to get rid of their complex workarounds. That's why we're about to close pilot projects with hospital groups in Vienna and have 7 hospitals in our pipeline interested in testing our solution. This year's primary goal is to build up strong credentials for an effective go-to-market in 2021, to then drive sales and further scale our product. Currently, we are looking to establish investor relations for our first financing round in 2021. So drop us an email or join us today in our breakout room. Thank you.
Thank you, Yannick and Lisa. You can all hear that the two of them are in the office with us, pitching from over there. I can't really see them. I can see you through the screen. Well done. How do you feel?
Pretty good, yeah. It's always fun to pitch.
Yeah, nice. It's nice to be in the office with you.
Everybody, we are ready for your questions. So start posting them in the chat. I can read them over here. But if while we're waiting for questions, I'm just going to go ahead and ask one because I know it's one that comes up quite a lot. And that is that it sounds a bit niche what you're doing. Can you please give us a bit more explanation about the mind?
Right. Yeah, that's you're right. That's a pretty important question that we had to think of as well, because it might seem as if we were entering a niche market, but actually when having a look on the current challenges and trends in healthcare HR, we are actually looking on a growing market. Let me just share a slide with you, which gives you a better overview. I'm going to switch the slide here. So we're talking about the hospital workforce management software market, which is rapidly growing with a compound annual growth rate of around 13%. And the clinical rotation scheduling actually allows us a way into this market with great up and cross-selling potentials. And as you can see, the clinical rotation scheduling alone, only in the DACH region, offers us a revenue potential of around 40 million euros. Now, what we plan to get into this growing market are several possibilities of up and cross-selling. This could be, for example, staff scheduling, as the staff scheduling is linked to the clinical rotation schedules, or based on the clinical rotation schedules, because you have to bear in mind which doctor is going to be on which department at what time. So it would make sense to connect those two. Another possibility would be with regard to recruiting, as based on the clinical rotation scheduling, we could predict which position has to be filled at what date and with which qualification profile. So we could create a recruiting platform that lists all vacant positions and enables an intelligent applicant position matching. But this is just an outlook. These are possibilities to get into this market.
Nice. So lots of possibilities there.
Yeah.
Cool. Another question, maybe you can just quickly answer that before we're moving on to the next startup, is there no competitor out there? You didn't mention anything.
Yeah, so when I think here it's best to share another slide again, to be honest, in terms of the competitive landscape. So when it comes to the clinical rotation scheduling, hospitals usually have two options. Either hire a very expensive software provider to implement a tool throughout a very tedious and cost-intensive implementation project. This is usually on premises, or building their own workaround. And as hospitals are restructuring cases with extremely high operational cost pressure, they would rather build a workaround than putting 6 figures into an expensive software provider. And this is where we want to come into play, offering an alternative to those workarounds with an affordable and intelligent solution. And actually, this is what 2 players already did in the United States, but with the US-specific requirements. So we would start first in Europe and want to make use of our first mover advantage.